Welcome to Sunday School Junkie, the podcast for anyone who's addicted to reaching kids for the kingdom. Whether you're a brand new volunteer, a veteran teacher, or just looking for inspiration, this is the place for tips, tricks, and stories from the best in apostolic children's ministry. Let's talk shop, share resources, and celebrate the incredible opportunity we have to shape young lives for Jesus. Now let's get started. Welcome, junkies. It is late on Tuesday, and this will be a little experiment on how quick we can turn over an episode. We've had the notes, but life has happened like the past couple days, so we're getting this out late, but hopefully we get it out. So, before we start, I do have Kimberly here with me today. Woohoo!
Hello.
Before we start, some have purchased shirts through our Printify site, linked through the Apostolic Children's Ministry website. And unfortunately, we had some struggles with Printify, and some merch didn't ship, and it was pretty horrible for me. So I went looking for other options. I remembered an old friend from my corporate Walmart days. And so we partnered with Hobbs Peak, which is owned by Jake and Amy Hobbs. hobbspeak.com/JP. You'll find all the merch there for Truism and Sunday School Junkie. We did update the Apostolic Children's Ministry link, so that's where it'll take you now. And, I met the Hobbs, back in my Walmart days. They're out in Georgia now. And Jake, he was a store manager, store leader, and I met Amy through our e-commerce when I was involved in all that. So I know she's left Walmart now and started the business, getting it off the ground. They go to Atlanta West Pentecostal Church, and I know their son just recently got the Holy Ghost, which is pretty cool. And it's a good deal to be able to partner with folks of like precious faith. So again, the updated site is simply hobbspeak.com/JP.
So Hobbs is Hobbs.
Yeah, HOBBSPEAK.com/JP, or I guess it should be .com. There's stickers, there's hats, there's totes, there's travel cups. It's actually a better selection than what I had on the other site. So hoodies, shirts.
There's even your Truism is on there too. But
yeah, Truism is there too. And I like my little 3/4 tee shirts that I wear, like the baseball shirts or whatever. So I like to throw them on in the mornings when I'm doing my morning routine. And the lady at Walmart the other day stopped me and told me she loved my shirt. So check it out.
they also made your leather Bible cover, right?
Yeah.
And then
They have a whole lot of stuff. Like, it's not just ours.
And then they made the cutting board I got for Christmas that has my mom's chicken dumpling recipe on it.
That's right.
So it's not just Sunday School Junkie and Truism merch, but other stuff.
Yeah, all kinds of cool stuff you can check out there. And you can customize your own stuff there. So, and this isn't like a paid ad or nothing like that. So let's jump into the episode. Let's get down. Let's talk about Promotion Sunday today. We just had our Promotion Sunday. Well, Sunday.
Woo!
Yeah. Got it done. Pretty much it's just the end of the school year celebration type service where we promote into the next grade, into the next Sunday school class. That's how it started, really, was just to promote them into the next class.
Kind of like a graduation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And typically we would, back in the day when we first started it, which we didn't start it, it was going on before us, but they would, do the memory work and stuff like that, just little presentations from the kids, promote them into class. And now we've actually made it like the full service 1 to 1:45-ish time slot that we have. With our format, we take the whole time and make it more about, it's more than just moving up the grade and doing even more than that and the memory work. It's we take all the recognition, we put in a lot of recognition into it and make it about really celebrating
what the kids have accomplished.
Right. And we still do memory work.
Yep. And songs that we've learned and
yeah.
And
then
done the apostolic chant, and the kids do the Bible pledge, the small class,
the little ones, just pretty much whatever memory work we've been working on as a group collectively in Sunday school. We highlight there along with a couple of songs that we love, and then we've recently, the last 2 years, I think, incorporated all of the school awards. So, yeah. You want to go into the awards?
Yeah. So last year was the first year we did this. James did this. His idea of doing something kind of just extra special for certain ones, kids and teachers alike. So we have some student awards that we've done. This year we did On the Ball. So this was for kids who've shown consistency and attentiveness in class.
The ones that are just on the ball.
They're just always in there and participating and just doing it.
Yep.
Then we have the Remarkables. So just a description. This is just a simple trophy, that's in quotes, made from just dollar store items or Walmart items. On the ball was a ball with a little kind of Lego man attached to the top.
A little minifigure.
Last year we had some kind of like army man or something.
Yeah.
So that's on the ball. And then the Remarkable is just a marker. Put them on a background, put a label on them, and spray paint them gold so that they're shiny.
So I'll get into how I made them. Okay. So pretty much I went to Dollar Tree, and this year, and I like the way they turned out this year. They were smaller than last year, but I like the way they turned out. I got a bunch of those canvases. They had 2-pack, 5x7 canvases, I think they were. So
probably
2 5x7 canvases for $1.25, like the art, like you would do a painting on. And that was what I used as the base, the back of each of the awards. And then like the On the Ball, I used ball pit. You're missing some ball pit balls from the Sunday school supply room.
Little thief.
I used those because I bought the styrofoam balls.
They don't spray paint very well.
Spray paint and styrofoam balls don't mix. So, so I went upstairs and got the ball pit balls. I pulled those. And then, Dollar Tree had little mini figs, like the Lego guys. They had a pack of 3 for $1.25. So, got that. For the Remarkable award, I got jumbo markers from Dollar Tree. Again, they were each $1.25. Glued them to the back of to the front of the canvas. All of our awards that we made was Dollar Tree, and then except for the can of gold spray paint from Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
That cost probably more than all the stuff combined for the awards. Those were the student awards. And then we did volunteer awards too. And I've changed some of these like each year. On the Ball and Remarkable are the same for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then
just the Remarkable are for kids who stood out. They made a mark.
We throw the puns in when giving these awards too, with the descriptions. But the volunteer awards to recognize Sunday school teachers, helpers, route workers, kids church workers, all of our team. It was just a way I wanted to recognize them too, for their work. So This year we did a solid rock award, which was the canvas was the backdrop, and we grabbed. You're missing a rock out of the garden, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did the golden goggles, which we did last year as well. And it's
swim goggles.
Yeah, diving goggles. And then a golden lantern, which is just literally $1.25 solar lantern from Dollar Tree.
So the solid rock was, I mean, self-explanatory. Someone who's faithful and reliable every week.
Yep.
You can depend on them. The golden lantern.
But that one I really did highlight that you can depend on them, but they weren't always front and center.
Right.
In the mic, in the,
they're not in the attention.
Yes, it's more of a hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The golden lantern was someone who's a shining example. And last year and this year is someone who, both of them were someone who has served many years in Sunday school, and we just wanted to honor them. The golden goggles is for seeing some potential and navigating the vision of Sunday school. So someone who maybe hasn't been in Sunday school that long, but they're in there. They know what we're there for. They're participating. They're in it. Yeah, dive in it. So diving goggles.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those are the awards, and we did kind of just create them. Like, I purposely didn't want to. Like, we could go to a trophy store and make these little awards, and we do that in other times of the year, other services.
We actually mentioned to someone about going and getting a real trophy, and they was like, "No, this is cool." so it's kind of, I mean,
it's a little bit. It's kind of the opposite of when your kids make you something that they made.
Oh, yeah, I guess
it's like extra special.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of the flip side of that. We're doing it for the kids. is my thought process behind it. Like, purposely keep it simple and personal, I guess. A little bit more us into it, maybe.
We're not fancy folk. I don't know if anyone hasn't figured that out, but
I really gotten to Dollar Tree and Amazon here lately.
I think most of us have.
It's just
sometimes I feel like I go to Dollar Tree every day.
Yeah.
Or every other day.
Yeah.
Especially since it's across the street.
Okay. And so those are the kind of the creative awards that we celebrate, right? And then the presentations we do, we have that kind of the corporate, I say corporate, like collective Sunday school, everybody from kindergarten through 6th grade, we learn, we focused on memory. We didn't do this until a couple years ago again. Like, we used to do it back in the day, it died off, and then we brought it back. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think we brought it back because our promotion service got pretty weak. Like, after COVID, we paused for a couple of years after COVID.
Yeah.
And then when we pulled it back, we didn't pull it back. When we started doing it again, we didn't do it very good. We were rusty, I guess. we didn't remember how we did it. So we started this back up. And last year was pretty cool. This year was cool too, but last year was pretty cool because the kids all learned
books of the Bible.
All the books of the Bible, but not just Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus,
right.
Numbers. They learned the books and the divisions.
5 books of the law.
Yeah. They learn what the Pentateuch, the 5 books of the law. They had the division memorized, the description of what a 1-sentence description, and then the books that were in that division. And we had a lot of fun with that through the year. It was a challenge to learn it. Like, that's a big thing to learn.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was crazy fun. We had a lot of fun with Pauline epistles.
Mm-hmm.
Pauline and her pistols.
James, woohoo.
And then, when we got to the book of James, we edited the song and added in a woohoo. Mm-hmm. So, and then they learned the song of the books of the Bible last year, too. And then This year we learned fruit of the Spirit.
Yep. Fruits of the Spirit versus and song.
Right, yeah. And they learned, we use the ESV version. Usually we use KJV, but because we wanted to use the full fruit plus the verses following it, it was what, 22 through 25? So
Galatians.
Right, Galatians 5. From 22 to 25.
I think one of the fruits is different in the song from the King James Version, and that's why we chose the other version.
Yeah, it's temperance versus self-control.
Yeah, to go with the song.
So they understood. Right. Yeah. And then, of course, that song, The Fruit of the Spirit.
Fruit of the Spirit's not a coconut.
Right. Yeah. The fun one. Fun song. So, this year, we're about to start. I guess we'll kick it off when, I doubt they'll kick it off Pentecost Sunday. This coming Sunday. We'll probably wait till right after our family camp at the end of June when we start. Really, back in July, we got some special services coming. So when we start back in July, we'll kick off with One God Scriptures. We need to work out some details on that, but I wonder how much fun we can have putting that kind of truth in our K through 6th grade. So, yeah. What about songs? What songs?
We already mentioned the Fruit of the Spirit song. We did that one. Kids love that. I think we have a little trouble remembering which fruit in what order.
What order the fruit
but once they know which fruit, they're on it. They get going. Then
they know the scripture, but knowing the fruit of the Spirit's not a lemon or coconut or watermelon,
lemon, grape,
whichever one's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the really hard one that none of us older people can coordinate very well with the motions is Peace Like a River. Once it gets going, it's fast.
Yeah, I can almost do the first verses where they're kind of individual. I can almost keep up. Almost. But when they combine them at the end,
and it's so fast.
I can't keep up when they're doing all three of them back to back. So
yeah, and then our last song, which the kids love, is I Don't Mean to Bug You. Because anytime you say the title of the song, they finish it with, but God loves you.
Yeah.
And then the first time we did it, we had one of our new route people just as he was putting the chairs away started singing it.
Oh yeah, as far as the volunteers.
Yes.
It's so catchy.
It sticks in your head.
It does.
It's so it's cute. Yeah, the kids love it.
Yeah, it's great. And then last year we did the Books of the Bible Song and Apostolic Chant, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing we do during this service is what I think makes it just over the top cool. Because every year, our kids, we like to recognize our kids in their school awards. When they get the math award or the English award or the leadership award or whatever in their school, whether it's public school, homeschool, private school, they get those awards. And in the past, we used to, as they would get them, we'd recognize them in like a Wednesday night service. And we moved that.
Well, we didn't. Pastor did.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Pastor did, not
right.
Sunday school in particular, like in a Wednesday night service. And, you call them up and you give them the certificate and everybody claps. And it's such a great, uplifting, fun thing, puts the kids in the spotlight. So last year and again this year, we moved that into our promotion service. And I think it makes it go over the top. Like I think it's the icing on the cake when we do the Sunday school promotion, we do the memorization, we have the fun, we give them a little certificate for moving up in Sunday school grade. But when you go through kid by kid, mm-hmm. and we recognize all of their hard work in the school, I think it really, it highlights how awesome our kids are as a group, but then each individual gets gets to share in it. So I love it. And I think it gives the parents the whole service gives the parents a great opportunity for pictures and memories and all the fun stuff. So we really become we're their cheerleaders. We're the biggest cheerleaders for our kids. So not just in what they learn in Sunday school, but what they learn in the other school. And they're growing in wisdom beyond. It's wisdom and spirit. It's all together. I think it's Luke 2:52. Jesus grew in stature and in favor with God and man. So it's kind of that whole process. So that's a really solid overview of what we do for Promotion Sunday, what it is. And you know what? I know a lot of formats, because we all do Sunday school different. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the formats, they don't necessarily, we still separate by grade, but right. I don't think a lot do. I think most probably do it just by age or have the big group together. So I think having an end of the school year kind of celebration is probably what's the word?
Milestone?
Well, having a service where you recognize that isn't necessarily dependent on promoting a grade. Like we call it Promotion Sunday, but it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be. Like having an end of year service is transferable across formats. What I'm saying, like having a kickoff to summer or an end of school year or something like that, you can.
It's just kind of a review of what they've learned for the past year. That's really what it is. We just happen to, that's kind of where we take them to the next class.
Yeah.
Move them up into the next age group.
Yeah.
Class.
So what I'm saying is no matter your format, you could think about
still do something.
How can I end a school year, kick off a summer with a fun bang to really honor, recognize, build up some of our kids. You can hopefully take some of these ideas. So, all right, let's look at kind of the behind the scenes, because it does get hectic. So, yeah. Go ahead, Kimberly. Tell me what the biggest, hardest thing about doing this is.
Hardest thing? Making sure you have a certificate for every child. Making sure that you know what class they're in. Making sure you know their name.
And where they're going.
And if for some reason they're not moving up to the next age or they're not ready, make sure you handle that properly.
Don't want it awkward.
You don't want anyone awkward or left out. Make sure those that don't have parents there also feel like someone cares and wants a picture of them getting their certificate. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it, but even just me saying, take a picture, And
that's something I think our church is just awesome about. We've got we clear the front 3 rows and we've got some great
each section for parents to take pictures.
I mean, it's mamas that are up there taking the pictures.
It is mamas.
And they are, but they're good. We've got several of them that are really good about the ones that come on the routes.
Yeah.
That they know.
I'm going to take a picture of this one because their parents probably aren't
and
here.
I'm going to cheer loud.
Yep. And everyone claps.
Yep.
Got
such a good group that does that.
And even if a child cries because they're embarrassed or, overwhelmed by the number of people,
You've got those that don't want to be. You got kids that don't want to be.
I think we do good at not making it feel like it's a bad thing.
Yeah. You adjust for the child's personality when they can't handle it.
Because they're all different.
You help move it along where they're not. And yeah. People love it. It's a good group. Good group.
Yeah.
What are the other? The flow always confuses me.
Well, and timing, because you don't know how long it's going to take.
Well, and
Even
that's
though I think both last year and this year was like almost perfect timing.
to the dot. It's been really great the last 2 years as far as the timing goes. I always stress about it.
Yeah, that's a you stress.
Yeah, it's always like
minus certificates.
no idea. Yeah,
Like
your
this.
stress is making sure that the certificates are filled out and in order, and yeah, that's your deal. My deal is, am I going to end after 20 minutes or am I going to end at an hour? I need to end at the 45 minutes. So, but yeah, it's been fun the last 2 years because it was, from the timing perspective, on the dot. So that feels good. And I like hitting that.
Yeah. I guess we're going to talk about fails later.
Fails?
Yeah.
Oh, jump in with them.
Well, me and 2 of the classes were late getting downstairs
this week yep.
Because I had one child that she doesn't come very often. She's been before, but it's been a while. And they came Sunday, and we didn't know her name.
Been a long while.
It's been a while. And she would not talk to any of us. If she was saying something, it was so quiet you couldn't hear her. So I said, "Can you write your name?" Everyone else is already downstairs. Service has started. And I'm like, "I need a certificate for you. Can you write your name?" She nods her head. She writes her name. And then it clicked that she had 2 brothers in some of the other classes, and I knew their last names. So I said, "Is that your last name?" And she nods her head again. I write that down, and I said, "Okay, let's go. We're late." And we're all running. And then I get to the stairs. I'm like, don't run, don't run, don't run.
No running.
It was chaos, but we made it.
Yep. Nobody else knows it. Well, now everybody knows it.
Well, yeah, now everyone knows it. And even amongst that, I still missed one child's getting a certificate for her, but it's okay.
But we had the extra.
I always keep blanks because sometimes there's kids that come late, and if they're not there early, we go by who's there.
Yeah.
We don't give certificates to kids that aren't present.
Well, you obviously don't know who's...
And we don't know until that morning who's going to be there.
Yeah.
We know our regulars, but then we had a few go out of town this weekend. So, I mean, it changes.
You're never going to have a Sunday when everybody's in town.
So, we don't pre-make them. Well, actually, we thought of doing that this next year, and then adjusting it. But anyway, that was my fails this year.
Yeah, having them all in order is tough.
Getting them in order.
The having the class, like, no dead space, right? Mm-hmm. No dead space, none. So that was one thing I forgot this year, was putting the background music on there, but we fixed it beforehand. We caught it in rehearsal. That's why we practice. Getting that background music so that there's something going during the time that somebody's walking up there. And then keeping the teachers with their classes, like that whole flow across the front, is something that trips me up every year.
Every year. It's confusing.
And it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
But I think it's confusing just because we have some classes, some grades combined is the main reason. So all the answer to that is we just need to grow where every class is its own.
Yeah.
So just let's get some growth going.
Well, another thing that I have to deal with is, so I hand the kids their certificate, and then I try to make sure I find the parent that's taking the picture and turn them to face their parent.
Point them in the right direction.
And sometimes I don't know where that parent is sitting in the congregation. So, and then smile, and then they don't take their certificate. Sometimes I'm like, take the paper, go over here. So I feel like a little mini director sometimes, trying to coordinate and make sure all the parents can get a picture of their child.
Overall, I think definitely, I think the benefit of having the service and what it is, and excitement of the kids. I mean, even, you mentioned folks going out of town. Well, some of these kids was like, Mama, we ain't going out of town this week.
Mm-hmm.
And they were scheduled to be out, came home. They actually went to do their vacation, part of their vacation, came home for the weekend, and then left to go to a different part of vacation afterward. So it's just a fun, good deal. And I think when you get a chance to honor the volunteers, show off the kids and all that they're growing and build them up, I think it's just incredible to see how that works. And I love this service that we do. So let's wrap it up, Kimberly. Let's wrap the episode up with some final thoughts here.
Well, I think it's important because it makes kind of like a talent show at school or award presentations at school. The kids are always looking forward to, oh, I get to show off what I've learned, or I get to get recognized for something. This is just a way to encourage that in the church also, because learning a verse, learning about God, they need to be rewarded for that, or noticed for that, recognized for that too. Not just, I can read this many books in the year, or, that's good too. But we need to make sure that we honor them and recognize them in their
a good
growth.
Balance between the spiritual growth and the natural. You don't want to say carnal growth, because I mean it's education, right? So, but those two, growing in their mind, growing in their heart, and in their soul as well. Yeah.
Well, and then we don't recognize Sunday school teachers. Sunday school, I mean,
not enough, right?
No.
And you can't really ever do, well, maybe you could go overboard with it, but I don't know. I don't think anybody's gone overboard with it yet. So, recognition. It creates momentum when you recognize somebody too. Like, you can carry that. I think it was Will Rogers maybe that said, I could live for 2 weeks on a good compliment. That's something, I saw that years ago, and I thought, that's a truth right there. I can live for 2 weeks on a good compliment. So it's about building folks up. So, and we want to make sure our kids know that church is where I'm loved. Church is where I'm celebrated, and people recognize the good in me. So, Promotion Sunday. It's more than just a grade up, more than just a step up. All right. So, I guess as we wrap this episode up, let's see if I can get it out by midnight tonight and not miss my Tuesday. But let's encourage everybody to do something. Celebrate our kids. Celebrate our volunteers out there. And I guess I would say we've made a lot of mistakes in our Promotion Sundays over the years. And each year, I think we get it a little bit better. Last year was pretty incredible. This year was pretty good. We had a few hiccups, but most people don't notice that. So, do something, though, to recognize your kids. And then, I guess I'll mention the merch link one more time, because it changed. HOBBSPEAK.com/JP. So, hey, you're listening. Y'all do something like this. Share it with us. Let us know. Comment. Let us, email me, text me, whatever. What other promotion ideas are there? What other award ideas are there that I can shake up? So I'm not locked into every award that we give. We can make something else. Just, make it fun. So, all right. Talk to y'all later. That's it for this episode of the Sunday School Junkie. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all those things, but most importantly, share it with someone in kids ministry. Let's build a community of passionate teachers who are reaching this next generation. And if you're looking for more great children's ministry resources, I highly recommend checking out the Apostolic Podcast Network for even more amazing content. Till next time, keep loving, keep teaching, keep making a difference.